Let's talk about objections and how you can handle them as an agency owner or to coach your sales team in order for them to close more new clients. I often get the same question, objections, what should I do if they say money is a problem? What should I do if they say they need to think about it and so forth? And most people just get kind of stuck and they don't have a good answer. So today I'm just going to lay out the entire framework of how we deal with objections in Purple Fire, my agency. And you can use this to basically increase your closing rate. You can allow your sales rep to have this cheat sheet with them. So whenever this objection does occur, then you can give them the right answer and basically deal with it immediately. So let's just dive in. I have a lot of things prepared. I'll share my screen. But do know you can go down below and you can access the sheet so you can have this for yourself. So anyway, let's keep this going. So an agency objection handling framework basically is what I just said. We need to think about it. It's too expensive. We're not sure if it works for us. We have to run it by the team or a spouse, whatever it might be. There are tons of different objections that people can come with. And I've tried to build sort of a framework that we use time and time again. And also I've made it specific to agencies. So I think actually some of these examples are from the CRO space. So if you run a CRO agency, this is for you. Okay, let's dive in. The 7-step cycle. The number one thing you want to do when you get an objection is to actively listen and acknowledge the problem. You don't want to start fighting with them. You don't want to sort of increase the tension in the room. So basically what you want to do is repeat back exactly what they said and show them, that you heard them without jumping into defense mode. Got it. So you're saying this isn't in the budget for now, and then acknowledge by saying, you know what, I appreciate you being upfront. Most people aren't, and we have to sort of guess why, they don't work with us or why they're ghosting us, right? So you kind of want to appreciate them being upfront. The reason why we want to do this, guys, is because we want to show them that this kind of behavior, honesty, is something that is appreciated. So if there's more down the line we need to go through, more objections, we have already primed them and made them feel comfortable about sharing their actual objections and not leave anything on the table, right? So I really love this framework. So you basically say up front that you appreciate it, and then kind of thank them for that fact. So once you have that, you have diffused the tension immediately instead of going straight into a defense mode. Another thing you can do, and I think that's sort of step 2, is sort of to probe and understand the objection, right? So you're digging deeper into finding the truth and basically asking secondary questions to get deeper into it. Is this actually about cash flow, or is it about your confidence in us delivering the work, right? So you're kind of probing to see if it's actually about money, which is typically just a logistics issue, like we need to move some cash around in order to pay you, or is it mostly about confidence in us, right? And typically it's actually over here and not here. It's very rare that it's actually the cash flow not being something they can deal with. How is this impacting them month to month is another one, right? Like you can ask them how it impacts them. What would solving it mean for revenue and workload? So for example, when you say not in budget, it's more about available cash this month, or more about you're not sure if you can see the return. Like this is a super good answer if someone says they don't have the money, or they don't have the budget. Because usually it's more about this. Another way you can ask this is if they say, I'm not actually sure I can afford this. I'm not sure if that's in the budget. Okay, fine. What else? And then they might say, well, I'm also not sure I can trust you. So asking what else after they say whatever objection is a really powerful way for them to open up and say what they actually want to say. So they're going to say like, yeah, I'm not really sure if it's in the budget for us. I don't know if I can afford it. And you're like, that's totally fine. Get it. What else? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not really convinced you understand our industry, right? So then you get the true objection. So asking what else could be really powerful. So the second thing is to probe and understand them, asking deeper questions to understand if it's really about money or about something else. Number 3 is to reframe things. So show how their objection is actually the reason they should act now. And this is really interesting because people that need money, for example, they need to invest in order to, make money. That's basically it. So that's why we're reframing it. And let's take it for conversion rate optimization. If extra budget feels tight, or if the budget feels tight right now, that's exactly why you're optimizing your site is so important. It's about unlocking the sales you're already leaving on the table. If XX dollar feels like it's a stretch now, imagine the opportunity cost of not fixing leaks in your funnel for another 6 to 12 months. And then you could add in some kind of statistic, on average, brands that are in your revenue range, which is $200K a month, they leave about $20,000 a month on the table when they don't work with us, right? So you can have all these numbers prepared, but imagine them, you reframing the question and saying, if you feel like $7,000 a month is too expensive, then I can say on average, when brands are about $200K a month, they leave about $20,000 on the table when they don't work with us, because that's roughly the uplift we get per month if you work together with us and you're in this category of $200K a month. So now you reframe the question, and now they're just thinking about, fuck man, every single month I'm not working with this agency, I might be losing out on $20,000, and suddenly the money is not expensive. It's not a much, they can definitely afford it. So that was reframing. And then number 4 is contrast and future pacing. So basically you paint 2 futures, one where they wait and one when they act now. And remember, everything we're talking about here is based on the idea that money is a problem. That was what they told us. So everything you see right here is a money-based objection. That's why I'm talking about money up here, and money down here. So you can keep the current site as is, and 12 months from now still wonder why your ad spend isn't scaling, or your ROAS isn't going up. Or you can fix the bottlenecks, increase conversions, and make each visitor more profitable. The decision won't change my business, but it could be the difference between you adding 6 figures in revenue or staying stuck. So this is really, really powerful. It's something I definitely think you should consider adding in here. And future pacing is something that a lot of really skilled sales reps will be using. And I definitely think that you should consider adding in the reality of the future in there and really paint a picture for them, right? And this is really, really important. You kind of want to you want to take it this far, otherwise it's hard for them to reverse from the decision that money is too tight right now, right? Then number 5, if they manage to say, yeah, that's true, that's something you definitely want to consider, you can go into a trial close, and the trial close is to test commitment without pushing. So you can say something like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it for you to make your site work harder so you can scale without increasing ad spend? And you could say, increasing your conversion rate, or increasing your AOV, or increasing your ROAS. You could do anything you want here. And if it's less than 9, go back to probing, because they're still hiding the real concern. So like, let's say they say, you know what, it's a 6. Then what you really need to go back to is all the way up to probing, and just really try to understand is, you said cash flow is the number 1 reason why, or money is an issue, why you're not moving forward. And we've established that. But I'd like to go back to that conversation and also ask you, what else is sort of impacting your decision to move forward with us? What else is challenging in your business? What else is hurting right now? You really want to go back in here to try to understand more. And they might say, you know what, I'm worried that the work you're doing will not be implemented because I don't have any developers in-house and I don't think I can manage all that work. Or honestly, I'm not really sure that I can trust your data or your split testing. I'm not really sure if this actually works out in the way you're saying it is. All right, so basically what we're seeing here is, if it's not a 9 or 10, there's another problem. We go back to probing. If it is 9 or 10, then we can go forward towards a final close. So if you're a 10, would you rather get started with the 1 times 0 audit or split it into 2 payments? So this is just to kind of show you, if they say it's a 10, you should be moving forward with a pitch, or in many cases what we do is, you know what, I think based on this, we should get going. We could do a trial, we could do a shorter time frame in the beginning, we could do a one-time project to show you the results that we can get for you. So if they're still very skeptical, you can go for these smaller things. But if they say it's a 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10, at the end of the day, they are basically ready to move forward. It's just about making sure they feel comfortable with you as the final partner. Now, this is sort of the process. If they bring up any new objection here, why they're not moving forward, again, you go back to step 1. That's pretty easy. You kind of go through the same steps all the way through. And then I've just taken the time to list a few things here. The money objection we just talked about. So if you want a cheat sheet from the money objection, you can basically use this one right here. And I have more of a specific related to sort of budget as well. There was one other one I wanted to show you. Need to think about it. This one is pretty useful as well because they're delaying, but what they're really saying is they're not sure and they need more assurance before they can move forward. So this one I've had in some really good ways that you can kind of navigate that and get them still. We're already working with someone else, and I've had lots of potential clients where we couldn't sign them because they used this objection. They're still with another agency, and they don't want to move forward until they're done with that agency. But honestly, if you are warm and basically in the front seat, they will find a way to work with you instantly. So there is a way to deal with that, and here is a sort of a script of how to deal with that as well. Timing, not the right time, oh, we're going into low season, there's a way to get through every single objection, right? Not sure this will work for us, right? It continues, and you can come up with tons more objections. So this is a cheat sheet. You can use it. Wanted to show you that if you find all this very helpful, agency objection handling is just a little bit of a longer masterclass, which I have inside of my community. You can go to the website, you can go to Agency Sales Masterclass, you can check out what's inside. And inside, of course, this is part of my entire course, but inside the masterclass, you'll find all of these different instructional videos that shows you exactly how to do agency sales at scale. And again, that's available on agencysupremacy.io if you want to check that out. But hopefully this was helpful. We'll talk soon. Bye.